in that area where you see something that looks like a cloud, obviously it's not a cloud, it just has that shape. If you pay close attention, you clearly see a dumpster. It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for Season 10 of The Walking Dead. In this video, we're gonna take a look at the cliffhanger that was at the end of last episode, Season 10, Episode 9, the mid-season premiere, which was called Squeeze. So, of course, we're talking about the moments where we saw Connie and Magna trapped in the cave right after that explosion, and we're gonna talk about whether Connie and Magna are dead. Now, I do want to say right off the bat that I did not like that cliffhanger. I thought that it was a cheap cliffhanger in a way, and I'll explain a little bit about why later on in this video, but at least this cliffhanger did not include us having to wait several months to find out who dies, which was the case for the cliffhanger for Season 6, Episode 16, with the Negan clearing and the Negan kills. So at least we have that, but at the same time, I don't think that these types of cliffhangers work. At least I'm not a fan of those types of cliffhangers. I don't know about anybody else. You might have different thoughts and different preferences. But before I actually jump into discussing whether I think Connie and Magna are dead and my overall thoughts on that, I want to recap what happened. So of course, they were on their way out of the cave when Carol decided to go grab one of the dynamites and try to blow up a portion of Alpha's herd. I think she said it was half of Alpha's herd. Now, this would have been okay if there was no one in the cave. But what ended up happening was Carol made this impulsive decision when the group of survivors were still in the middle of getting out. So Carol put everyone's lives in danger by doing that because they were not safe when Carol did that. It would have been absolutely fine if after they all left and they were safe outside the cave, Carol goes back or decides to go back and says, I want to do this, or asks who wants to come and help. You don't have to, you can go back if you want, but this is what I will do. That would have been perfectly fine, and it would have been the rational thing to do. But what Carol did was put everyone's life in danger by going and trying to blow up half of Alpha's herd when most of the people were still in the cave. So obviously Carol goes, tries to do her thing, and then she fails, and Daryl has to come in and save her again. And that's when she drops the dynamite and there's like a mini explosion, and that's when all of the cave starts to cave in and the survivors have to get out of there as quickly as possible. I really hope that conversation that Carol and Daryl have right before the explosion, and also their conversation when they're outside the cave, finally gets through to Carol. I really hope that happens. But after that conversation between Carol and Daryl inside the cave, they are able to get out. Right before Magna actually leaves, she notices a few whispers attacking. So she decides to go back and kill the whispers to give the survivors enough time to get out. As much as I dislike Magna and I don't like how her story kind of went, I did love that moment because it showed that she truly cares. Now, the only reason I disliked Magna and what she did in this episode was because she told Carol, what were you thinking sneaking out by yourself? Now, there's a lot of truth to that. I'm not going to deny it. Carol shouldn't have made all those decisions. And we can now see what those decisions led up to. But with that said, I don't think Magna is the right person to be expressing her feelings this way. She's a little hypocritical because she was the one that stole from the group. She was the one that was doing her own thing. You know what I mean? So she's in no position to be making this judgment, to be saying these things to Carol. Yes, there's a truth to it, but it has to come from someone else. Like Daryl. Like those exact words, but from Daryl. Now, I'm not saying that was the writer's fault. No, absolutely not. It was in character for Magna to do this, but it was just hypocritical of her. But going back to what I was saying, when Magna goes back to kill the Whispers to give the survivors enough time to get out, we actually see Connie return to help Magna. I absolutely loved Connie in this episode. Everything about Connie in this episode I absolutely loved. And then at that point, when Connie and Magna are fighting the Whisperers, that gives the survivors enough time to get out. And when they do, as soon as they do, there's another explosion. Not even sure how that happened. The whole thing really caved in and Connie and Magna were trapped. Now the thing I do want to mention is that we did not see Connie and Magna die. And what we ended up seeing was that they were trapped. We don't know if they're hurt or anything, but I don't think they're dead. First, we didn't see that. And because of that, that leaves the door open. And that's why I hate these types of cliffhangers. Because they're cheap. And the door is open, they can do whatever they want. You know what I mean? It's just shock value. Unnecessary shock value, I would say. But what is important is that we didn't see them die. The whole thing just came down and they were trapped. So if anything, they're still down there. And as far as I'm concerned, they are probably going to be able to find a way out. Now, I don't think that we are going to see them in this season. I think that if they reveal them to be alive, it will be closer to the end of the season. And we probably won't see Connie and Magna until season 11. I think there is a chance that one of them would die, but I don't think that they died from this. I think that we will revisit their story. And we might see like a flashback or an episode where we pick up with what happened to them. And we'll see what they went through and how they survived. But I do think that there's a possibility one of them will die. I don't think they're both going to survive. But if they do end up making both of them survive, then that just makes this cliffhanger even more ridiculous and takes away more from that cliffhanger. But what I do want to mention is that, as you can see, right before everything collapsed, there's a lot of room in the background. So Connie and Magna could easily run away on the opposite direction of where everything came down. And I think it's entirely possible that they just went to find another way out. Now, what I do want to mention is that if you take a look in the back, you do see something that looks like a cloud, but that's because this is low quality. But in that area where you see something that looks like a cloud, obviously it's not a cloud, it just has that shape. If you pay close attention, you clearly see a dumpster. And Connie and Magna probably were just hiding under that dumpster. But in all honesty, I think that it's entirely possible for both Magna and Connie to survive this moment. But I do think that we will see them again in a flashback, probably in season 11 or later on in season 10, maybe closer to the end of the season, where we actually see that they survived. But I do think that one of them will die trying to escape the cave. Like, they may have survived this moment, but I do think one of them will die before being able to escape the cave. But with that said, I want to know everyone's thoughts and opinions about this in the comment section below. Do you think Connie and Magna are dead? And if you don't, when do you think we'll see them again? And do you think there's a possibility that one of them will end up dying in some way before being able to escape the cave? But that's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, press the like button. If you're not a subscriber, make sure to subscribe to join our community and leave a comment, like I said, to let me know your thoughts and opinions. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video. If you like what you see, press like, subscribe for more content, and press the bell button to receive notifications for daily uploads.